quick, I had so many people like, oh, I'm coming on this and you're doing this. A lot of my clients and people.
Oh, good. Yeah, we did a lot of advertising out to it. So I can already see we have 159 people loaded in and it's counting. We are live. Thanks everybody for joining. I always like to give a brief introduction, although Jeff, you need really no intro. I
don't know about that.
I mean, if anybody hasn't heard you speak yet, then this will be the first of many times.
Awesome.
We're fortunate enough to have you speak to our sold.com network multiple times a year. And it's
really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always one of our top ranked events. You always bring really good content, get everybody motivated. And as we were talking about before this is the time to be motivated. Like, this is the time that we've all kind of been waiting for. You're going to talk about that. Like, it is a great time of year. This typically near the end of the year, people start to kind of go into their shell, brace for winter. But I think we're going to see a total opposite thing happen this year because of what's going on with rates and what's going on with the market. So I'm super excited to see how this year winds up playing out. But Jeff Mays with us today, one of Tom Ferry's right-hand men, been in the industry for, Jeff, how long?
35 years. I was selling houses when I was like 10 years old, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I was selling clubhouses in the trees.
Yes,
tree houses.
Yes.
35 years. Got into it in 99 or 90.
So you've seen essentially every phase of the real estate market.
I've seen it all. I've seen probably 3 or 4 types of markets that we're in right now. So I think right now, we just got to adjust to what is going on out there right now. So, yeah.
And that's the key word. It's adjustment, because I think what's key is that there are many people who survive all of these different roller coasters of the economy, right? There are some people that get out and it is, you just have to make adjustments. And if you can make adjustments, your business ultimately shouldn't change. And I think that's why we love doing these events. It's because we want to help people navigate whatever market that we're in. And right now we're in a place where, again, things are on the upside. So
Deanna, real quick, following up on that is like, you can make money in an increasing market and a decreasing market. You can't blame the market. Tom talked about that a lot a week or so ago, right? It's not the market, it's us. All we can ever do is control what we do or say. But tagging on to what you just said, I truly feel like we just need to change. We need to embrace change, because change is always happening. But we don't like change, do we?
No.
We don't like change, And I know there's a lot of agents that maybe have been in the business just the past 3 to 5 years. We're in a changing market. So all that means is we're going to change what we say to the leads. We're going to say how we're approaching them. It's a little bit longer term nurture because things are taking a little bit longer. So that's why I'm super excited about, talking about turning a maybe that a lot of people say right now into a yes, really nurturing those leads that we're generating from sold.com.
Yeah, no, I love that. Because again, like you said, you just may have to adjust and sometimes work a little bit harder for something that came easier a year ago. But it's just all that you put in, and that's all you can control is what you do.
Control the controllables ourselves. That's it.
Exactly. Well, I have your slides up, Jeff. So I hand you the microphone.
Let's do it. Hey, everybody, how we doing out there? Give me some thumbs up. Y'all ready to have a killer September and October? See, I truly think we're going to be, again, talking about turning a maybe into a yes and really going back through the leads that we currently have. And I got to be honest, Deanna, we've been doing this for probably 3 or 4 years. And I think, and I'm going to be honest with everybody on the call, is I think we want instant gratification and we want it right now. Right, Deanna?
Exactly. In everything.
we want that lead to be like, they're ready to go. They're ready to list their home, but we got to recognize that they're not there yet, right? They're at an early stage. You recognize this, right?
Yep.
And I think people say, oh, they're cold. I don't like that phrase. I look at like, they're just like, they kind of raise their hand. They want to do something, but maybe they're just not there yet. A no is like not there right at this moment. So we have an opportunity. We have these leads that are in our hand. And I see agents all the time. We mess it up because we talked about this before we got started. We give up too soon. Wouldn't you say, Deanna?
Yep, 100%.
Have you found, is there any stats that like maybe they're only reaching out to them maybe 2 or 3 times, or what does your data say around that?
Yeah, we see that most people are only reaching out twice. And that's typically at the initial, like, first day or two to any lead. And I've seen that at any lead generation company, is that most people are reaching out once or twice to their leads.
So what we're doing is we're treating them like they're ready to go sellers, but they're actually in the research phase. And so if you recognize that, if you're just starting to date, we're going to act a whole lot differently than if we're trying to get married to them. Think about that. So to me, we're building a relationship, and we're going to do it in different ways that can definitely help you out. Because if we act like everybody else, if we quit after the first or second try in the first week or two, okay, of course, they're not going to be that good. See, I'm a big fan of the leads get better when you get better. Let that sink in. There's no good leads. There's no bad leads. There's no killer sold leads. There's no coldsold.com leads. It's how we handle them. See, to me, they are what they are. So to me, we're going to go through ways to increase the follow-up, improve what we do, create a campaign. There's a book, I think the author is James Clear, and he talks about this all the time. He says, I think he's got a book, it's called Limitless. And I remember him saying, you know, Deanna, we can have all these goals. Everybody can set goals. Goals are easy, right? Super easy.
Yep.
But most people fail to reach their goals because they don't have a plan. They don't have an SOP. They don't have a campaign. They don't have a system. And so what do we do as agents? We get a lead, we try them once or twice, and then we forget about them, or we're all over the place, or we don't know how to handle that. So hopefully you'll get some insights here. I got a lot of great information. I'm going to give you some scripts and dialogues, some talking points, some text messages. I'm going to review a little bit. We just had, you know, again, with Tom Ferry, we just had our Success Summit down in Dallas. I'm going to review a couple of slides that I think are super important for everybody to recognize right now. And also, I want to leave everyone inspired and fired up for September and October, because I think there's some things that are coming our way. It's going to be better than it's been the first couple months of this year. And the idea is, how do we make September and October the best couple months? Okay, look, the first thing that I wrote down is we have to be disciplined. We have to have a multi-channel follow-up system. See, I truly think, Deanna, you've probably seen this as well. A touch point nowadays is a call, a text, an email, and maybe a video. That could be one.
Yes.
See, don't you see that? I see agents, they just make a phone call, and then that's it.
Yeah, and to your point, I group those together. That's my one attempt. I don't call that 5 attempts.
So I love what you just said. So that's one attempt. So I'm going to make a phone call, and I'm going to leave most people are like, should I leave a voicemail message? I'm a big believer in leaving a voicemail message. I don't want to be that stalker. You ever get those people that just keep calling you and they're not leaving a number? What do you think about them?
Spam.
I'm like, spammy. What do they want? Why are they not leaving a message? So I'm a big fan of making a phone call, leaving a message, and then immediately sending what you just said in that voicemail message by text. We got to also recognize that communication has changed. You know, I'm not a big email guy anymore because I have so many emails. If you want to reach me by email, I'll take a look at it by the end of the week or maybe once a day. We're just trying to also figure out the communication that the potential seller wants. Some people, you may never, ever get them to pick up a phone call, but they'll reply to a text, right? And also, I think I mentioned on a previous call that we've done here recently, is that whenever I call Tom Ferry, he replies to my phone call with a video text message. That's unique. It's different. I feel special. So to me, we got to think about how can we separate ourselves? How can we differentiate ourselves from the average agent that's out there? Because I can tell you this, 99% of agents are not sending a video text message.
Right.
Have you seen that work in the past, Deanna?
Yeah, 100%. It humanizes you. It takes just the letters off the page and actually turns you into a human.
Okay. So the idea is we're going to do some things that is a little bit different. Again, we're in the early stage of them possibly thinking about putting the home on the market. I've been surveying my clients, asking them from the time you meet someone to the time they actually put their house on the market. And maybe this is someone they know, somebody that's always working with them, that like them, trust them. There's this connection. It's usually still, I'm getting a month to 2 months, sometimes 3 months for the people that we know. So we're getting leads on people that we don't know. So it totally makes sense that they're nowhere near ready to put their home on the market. So we got to make sure we don't get frustrated. We got to make sure this is a long-term play to some degree out there. All right, so let me get right into my slides. So I just talked about this. Why are the next 2 months so important? I know we got a chat here, but if anybody could put in the chat or raise their hand or something along the line, why is September and October critical to our business this year? What do you think?
And you might see a delay in chat, just so you know, but they will answer. I'll give you, my thought is it starts to build your pipeline for the springs, the summers, and when people are doing something.
Totally. Deanna, you know that 2026, crazy to even say that. We've already basically through 2025. It starts in October, right? It starts in October and November. So we got to finish the year strong so we have a strong start to the next year. Why else? Why else is it important?
Yeah.
You're going to get my feedback. It's just you and I talking right now.
And I was going to read off some of what people are putting in the chat. And a lot of people said their what happens now makes your spring.
Right.
It's the last chance to get in sales before the end of the year.
Totally agree. Like we got to get it done September and October because we know what happens in November and December. It's going to fall off, or everything we're doing today is going to pay off in November and December, right?
Yep.
We want to have a strong, great holiday. We don't want to be poor during the holidays or after Thanksgiving. Okay. So I think everybody recognizes that September and October are critical, but also you kind of touched on it. We got some good news potentially coming in the next week or two. Obviously the jobs report came out, and then all of a sudden, what did rates do? It went down a little bit. And then what are we hoping they're going to do next week? We know that the announcement will not be tied to mortgage rates because they're tied to the 10-year treasury. But I just think we talked about this earlier. I think it's consumer confidence will go up. It'll get at least people talking, right?
Yeah, that's where the miseducation kind of benefits everybody, is they see this talk about rates and they think it covers everything.
That's right. They think it's gonna, and it gets just conversation. All we ever want to do in marketing is to get a lead like we're getting from sold.com and to have a conversation with them. All we ever want is them to pick up the phone or to reply to our text and just have a conversation. See, all sales start with a conversation. And we got to recognize right now, we're not having enough conversations. Think about that. So we've got, with sold.com, we've got an ability to give us that chance to make that connection, to have more conversations. But I got to be honest, we're messing it up. We're messing it up. I know you probably agree with that, Deanna. It's like we're not doing it the quite the right way. So to me, here's the question. How do we have the best September and October? How do we make it the best 2 months of the year? I want you to think about that. I really want you to think about, what are you going to change? What are you going to do different? Because it all comes down to you. So I just want everybody to think about that. We don't have to wait for their answers because I got a lot of slides to go through here. But like, I'll give you one example. This is one of my clients, Stephanie Younger, and she's down in LA County, down near Santa Monica and LA. She put out a post the other day, and it says the fall real estate market is about ready to surge. We're on the edge of one of the most active fall markets in years. Hey, Deanna, can you see how many people like that?
1,066.
And that happened within a couple days of posting that. And
Yeah.
what I always look at on social media posts, how many people forwarded that? It looks like it's got over 800 forwards or 900 forwards and 42 comments. So let me ask everybody this. Do you think Stephanie's got some secret that you don't know about? You think she's got some inside information? What do you think?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Nope.
I know her, I coach her. Okay. She felt like we've got to stir some things up. So she put out her opinion. She put out her opinion of what she wants to see the fall market to look like. And she goes on to say, if you read some of these things, it's like obviously a softening of the interest rates. There's more choices. There's more opportunities. This is almost, the message is almost got to be, this is what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for this moment for the past 3 or 4 years. Think of how bad it's been for buyers, and even, half of all buyers are actually sellers. Okay, don't forget about that. People are waiting because they can't find the house or they can't afford the house they're wanting. So to me, it's been bad for buyers. Now it's almost like some markets have turned into a normal market. Some have turned to a buyer's market, but it hasn't been fun to be a buyer the past couple of years. And now they feel like we've got an opportunity, and now we got to reach out to them. So I would encourage everybody, kind of shoot this post or put this out there on social media. Have a stand. Real quick, you realize that the closer we get to 6%, Deanna, look at that. 5.5 million homeowners can now afford a house. That is good news. And 500,000 of them, they've done a survey recently that 500,000 of them are going to come off the fence in the next 12 to 18 months. So we got to be spreading this good news. Look, if we're not excited about this, how can we expect them to be excited about this? We got to get a little energy. We got to get a little pep in our step. We got to step it up, guys. We can't be laid back and cool. We got to put this information out there to them. All right, watch this. Look at this. This is the rates over pretty much the past 3 years. And then you can see that drastic low number, which was obviously during COVID. Can you believe, Deanna, that 3 years ago, rates have pretty much gone from 4% to a top of 8% in 3 years? Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
Hey, Deanna, you realize that this is a good stat for everybody to know, that for every time when the rate goes either up or down by 1 percentage points, purchasers' buying power increases or decreases by 10%. So what's insane about this is that person that bought at 4%, they could buy a $1.5 million mortgage. And if it goes up to 7.75, almost 4% above that, they now can afford $1 million mortgage. Is that a lot? That's a lot. So the idea is we're about ready. I got to tell you, Deanna, I heard 3 of my clients this week. They sold they put them under contract last week. It's the first time I've heard this in a couple years. The rate they got was 5.99 on a 30-year conventional.
Wow.
And they weren't paying any points. That's incredible. There's opportunities out there. Tom said a year or so ago, as soon as we get a 5 in front of the interest rates, look out. Yep. So we better be prepared. Okay. So just recognize that this is a good thing. Second thing, what do we got here? Every dip, there's always a recovery. Guys, we've been in a little downturn the past 3 or 4 years. Again, it's going to come back. My years of experience of 30 years, it always goes down and it comes back, and then it usually goes up above where it was. It can't continue to just be a moonshot like this. So it's going to go down and then it's going to come back up. Trust me, it will come back. It's real estate. Until real estate goes out of style, until no one needs a roof over their head, we'll be in business. Think about that. All right. So to me, Tom went through, these are a couple of his slides from last week. He said, every drought ends in a recovery. Rates drives growth, which means rates are going down. So we're going to have some growth. The fundamentals are strong in our business right now. The demographics are on our side. There's still major buyer demand. People want to buy houses, And there's just not enough houses out there, period. We're still not even close to where the listings were just 2017, 2018, 2009. We're not even close to that still. So there is still a shortage of houses. So that's why it's critical that we really look at these leads that we're getting from sold.com and making sure that we reach out to them. Okay. Everybody good on this so far? There's a lot of stats. There's so much equity out there like never before. Was it 2/3 of people have at least 50% or more equity in their home right now? That's insane. It's not going to crash anytime soon. I was in that period down there where you can see where it was below what the value was worth and what they owed. We're nowhere near that. You can see there's a huge spread right there. This could help you out for those people that are saying we're waiting for a crash. And again, I just said there's no listings out there, and this backs that right there. Okay. So the idea, real quick, everybody know that Warren Buffett has almost 1.3 billion involved in Lennar Homes. He knows something. He's investing big time in real estate and new construction. So something's going on that we don't know about. Okay. So let's get into, I've got these slides, but I'm going to, what do I got to do to, let's see. Nope, that didn't do it.
What are you trying to do?
Just turn on my video again. I was getting there. Perfect. Thank you. I was sitting there thinking, what do we got to do? What is the plan in place? So to me, Deanna, I know we get a lead. So to me, my thought is we know it's about speed to lead. And I've got some slides that have all this in there, but I want to make sure the information was accurate. So when it's speed to lead, I would send out a text and a phone call. How quickly do you think they should reach out to a lead that they get from sold.com?
20 seconds?
I think in seconds. Yeah. 10, 15, 30 seconds, a minute at the most.
Yeah.
And what are you going to say? Hey, Deanna, I just received your request from sold.com. When would be a good time to talk about your options? Where agents make a mistake, we talked about the words that we say are important. Agents say things like, when are you going to list your home? And I'd love to come over and do a listing presentation. And you got to recognize they're not even there yet. You're signaling to them like, whoa, hold up. Some of the words we're saying is probably repelling people. So just that little switch of let's talk about your options as opposed to let's talk about selling your home. Which sounds better, Deanna?
Options.
Options. Choices.
Softer.
Let's talk about your timeline. Let's talk about what you're trying to achieve. That's the first step. Again, this isn't a come list me call. So it's important that we say the right thing right off the bat. So let's get together and let's talk about your options. Now watch this. And it's going to happen. You're going to reach out to them. They're probably not going to pick up. You're going to leave a voicemail message, and then you're going to just wait. Well, that's what the average agent does. You're not going to just wait. What you're going to do is on that first day, we're going to leave that message and send that in a text. On day one day after receiving this, we're going to call them again, but we're going to say something a little different. Like, I'd love to provide you a market update about what's going on in your neighborhood. See if that works. And then on day 3, we're going to skip a day. Day 3, we're going to send out an email. We're going to send out an email, maybe something along the lines of like the 3 mistakes that sellers make when picking an agent. Now, most of you are going to go, well, where's that article? Deanna, where's that article? Where's that article nowadays?
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Like it's no longer, you're right on. We don't have to create this stuff. It's there. So I would definitely send out that email. And then on day 5, you're going to call them back. And if they don't pick up, you're going to leave a voicemail. And you're going to talk about, would you like me to do a net sheet for you? Would you like me to go through your equity options? See, again, I'm coming at it in a different way. And then day 7, I'm going to text them again. And I'm going to say, have you set a timeline for selling? I want to figure out. There's this thing called the illusion of choice. And Deanna, I would say things like, are you thinking about your options between now and the end of the year? Or are you thinking about in the spring? Or are you thinking about maybe the next year or two? That's so much bigger than, tell me about your timeline. I think that causes confusion. Like, what? I don't know. Maybe now, maybe not. But if you if you narrow it down, are you thinking by the end of the year? Are you thinking the spring of next year? Or thinking in any point in the next year or two? It'll at least guide you down there. So
and it doesn't give pressure. I think that's why I like that phrasing too, because it doesn't make you
pulls
feel
off.
like you're trying to get me to do something right now.
It pulls off the pressure, doesn't it?
Yep.
All right. So we're gonna speed the lead is important. We're gonna reach out and say that right off the bat. We're gonna follow this cadence for the first week. Okay. Now, what if they don't reach back out to you? It's okay. Don't take it personal. They're not your best friend yet. They don't know you yet. You're still going to have to impress them. Okay. We also think that people live in this bubble. I would love to think that they just went to sold.com. Maybe other agents are reaching out to them. Maybe they're on other sites. So don't take it personal. We're treating these leads like they're, my friend didn't get back to me, forget them. And then what do, Deanna? We make up a story in our head. And we say things like, the sold.com leads aren't any good. I call baloney. They're great leads. I'm tired of hearing that. We got to get better. I'm tired of hearing that. And I'm saying that for everybody's saying that. The leads suck. Come on. All we're ever doing is giving them an opportunity, right, Deanna?
Yep.
Okay, so we got to have that right mindset. Do you like what I'm saying so far?
Yeah, 100%. And what I'll have you do actually after this is I'll have you snap a photo of your whiteboard and email it to me, and then I'll send it to everybody.
If everybody can see my chicken scratch, I will definitely do that. Now we're going to go into a 90-day nurture program. Okay. So to me, now we're going to put them on a follow-up campaign. Okay. The first thing that we're going to do in the first month, we're going to email them maybe a market update. Here's a great idea too. If you've got their email address, why wouldn't we want to put them on an MLS campaign, giving them, that's a great idea. We do it for buyers. Why wouldn't we want to put the seller's information in there? And then it's automatically happening when houses go on the market or sell or pended. And you can decide whether you get that every day or every week or every month. Isn't that a good idea?
Yeah, especially because we know that from our stats, 82% of our sellers are also buying. So it not only is creating that like, wow, houses are selling, look how much they're selling, but it also, they are a buyer in most cases.
That's right. It creates stickiness.
Yeah.
See, I think the problem is we talked about being fast and we got to be persistent, and we're not really good at being persistent. But the big one is we're not bringing any value. The average agent is like, oh, just checking in, just following up, just seeing what you're doing. That goes nowhere. You're bringing no value. Look at it from the consumer's point of view. You're bringing no value when you're not doing these things. If you're just following up, we got to stop saying following up. Okay. No more saying that. Just bring value. Think service, not sales first. So bring the value. So we're going to send that email. And then 2 weeks later, maybe we're going to send a video. I'm going to go through my slides real quickly towards the end here. And I got to tell you the 3 things that really are working for me to get more videos out there. I'll give you some secrets here. And then we're going to follow up with another text or a call that says, would you like an updated net sheet again to see if you sold your house this year, what it's worth? We're bringing value in all these things. So I promise you this, if we have that touch, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say we're touching them, I don't know, 14 to 16 times over 90 days. Would you be happy with that, Deanna?
Yeah.
Do you think they get more opportunities or more conversations started?
100%. Yep.
Again, the question is for everybody out there, when do you stop? When do you quit? See, we're not going to quit. We're going to be persistent. If I told you this is an excellent lead, but they're not going to sell for 8 months to maybe a year, think about what you can make by just sending a text or a call every now and then or a video or an email. Come on. They're the cheapest leads out there because you got the lead. You just got to do the work. You can't expect them to say, come on over. So when you have that mindset, it'll go so much further and help you out. Okay. Good stuff so far?
Yep.
All right. Can you pull up my slides again? I don't know how to do it. There we go. This is pretty interesting. Tom talked about, these are Data since the beginning of the year is crazy. 6% of all agents control 60% of the listings, and another 23% control 40%. So the market, Deanna, is controlled. If there's 3 agents, 1 are taking all the listings, because 71% of agents haven't taken a listing or made a sale this year. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because of their follow-up or their campaign is not that good. Maybe we start doing that and we can get more listings. I absolutely know we could get more listings if we start doing that. So it really is, it's not the 80-20 principle in real estate nowadays. It's almost like 90% of the business is being done by 10% of the agents. It's never been like this before. So that is an opportunity. If we're excited, if we're fired up, if we're doing these things, we can take market share. We can get more opportunities out there that other agents, they're asleep at the wheel. They got their head in the sand. They don't even know what's going on. Quick thought here. We surveyed a lot of clients, and what are they looking for when they're working with an agent to list? They want responsiveness. We talked about fast. They want experience and a track record. You need to make sure you're demonstrating that on your listing presentation. They want local market expertise, knowing that you know what's going on around the area. You got to have somewhat of a personality and good communication style. People, the number one characteristic, the reason why people pick an agent as listing their house, you know what the number one characteristic is?
No.
Likability. They like you. You don't have to be the expert. You don't have to be the perfect person, perfect agent. If they like you, they're going to choose you. Think about that. So to me, in that communication or that meeting, you just got to be likable and know what you're talking about. And then they're going to look at your reputation and reviews online. Okay. Good stuff there. A lot of likes there. So again, we talked about this. The message is, this is what you've been waiting for. More choices, lower rates, and motivated sellers to some degree. Okay. I'm gonna breeze through this really quickly. We talked about that in the very beginning. Look, if not now, then when? If we can't hit it hard in September and October, come on, guys. We just went through a great summer. Probably wasn't the best summer that you wanted, but all right, now's the time to work. Now's the time to get back to our habits. Now's the time to do the things that we know we need to do.
Yeah, stop living in the past and thinking about that it hasn't worked. It's like, who cares? Start all over. It's a fresh day to day.
So here's a couple of scripts. Here's the first response. Hey, this is Jeff over at ABC Real Estate. I saw you were curious about your home's value and what your options might look like if you were to sell. Most people aren't sure where to start, so I'd love to set up a quick call to walk you through your options with today or tomorrow at work at 10 o'clock. Okay, we know that. That's a good one. I'm giving you the next call. Here's another thought. Hey, just wanted to touch base. A lot of homeowners I speak with aren't sure if now is the right time to sell, but they do want to understand their choices. Again, choices and options, whether that's selling quickly, maximizing your equity, or comparing a cash offer to the market offers that are available out there. When's a good time to connect? Another great approach there. And then we got another value add a couple days later. It's kind of very similar to what we talked about right here. Is one of the things I do for homeowners who reach out is to show them the 3 main paths people take to sell, each with different timelines, convenience levels, and net proceeds. Most are surprised at what's possible. Can we connect for 10 or 15 minutes? Again, the purpose of marketing is to make the phone ring and to not give up. If you start saying this on the voicemail message, if you start sending this on a text message, or if you start sending this on an email, your responses will go up big time. Deanna, you see it. They're just not following up in the right way, or they're saying the wrong thing, right?
Yep. It's too aggressive. It's the dating analogy of, do you want to get married when you're on your first date?
So too aggressive. Build a relationship is the idea. Okay. Yep. Love it. All right. I'm going to skip that. We all talked about this. It's all about options. So some objections and you probably know this, and maybe you got some objection handlers, but I'm sure they're going to say, hey, I appreciate it. I was just curious about my value. I just want to know a number. And you're going to say, hey, that totally makes sense. Most people start out just curious. What I do is give you a clear picture of what your home could sell for in today's market and the options available. That way you can decide if now, later, or never is the right move. Does today or whenever work?
Yeah, I love that line. That way you can decide if now, later, or never is the right move. Takes everything off the plate, brings
Right.
the consumer's wall down, and allows you to keep having a conversation.
And it is not pressure. It's like, maybe you never want to sell your house. I totally get it. You have so much credibility when you say that. I'm here to advise. I'm here to help. I'm just going to be an advisor is the idea.
Yeah. I wrote down when you were talking, you know, we've always used the phrase real estate agent, and we've been talking about this phrasing of advisor, but I really think that everyone needs to like think about themselves as a real estate advisor and even just change their title to that, right? Like you're not a real estate
agent. Look at my face. When you said real estate agent, I was like, I don't want to be known as I don't want to, everybody's a real estate agent. Let's be honest. What was the old joke that when you got a license in California, you got your real estate license at the same time, your driver's license? Everybody's got a license. I don't want to be a real estate agent. I want to set myself apart. I want to be an advisor, right?
And that with itself, like when you talk about options, choices, like that advisor term changes it all. Like that's what everyone should be when they're introducing themselves. Like I'm a real estate advisor. Like it also makes me like elevates me immediately.
Totally. It separates yourself. It shows that you're the expert. Like I want to talk to that person.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe an objection you're going to get is I'm not ready to sell right now. Totally get it. You're going to say one of the things I do for homeowners who reach out is to set them 3 main paths before they sell. I think I just did that one. My bad. I doubled. I just want a home value, not want to meet. I got it. This is a good one. I can definitely just share a number. But the thing is, every home value you see online is just a rough estimate. And the real number depends on specific situations, whether you're looking for speed, convenience, or top dollar. That's why a quick conversation can make all the difference. How's the schedule, or can we get together tomorrow or Thursday? Okay. So you're going to get, I'm sure you're just getting a few of these objections all the time. Like, we're getting a lot of likes here. I like it. I don't want to list. My first thought is, I don't want to list. I would be like, who said anything about listing your home?
Yep.
Like, that's so normal. Deanna, who said anything about listing your home? I just think you want to look at your options, right? Yeah, great. Well, then let's get together and let's talk about your options. We can't take out sell, list, listing, appointment. These words that trigger resistance. Like, I don't want that. Deanna, think about this. Doesn't it suck to think about selling your home? Let's talk about selling your home. That doesn't sound fun.
No, it sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot on me. So we got to recognize that what we're saying, again, is pushing them away. It's repelling them. Words have meaning. Let's see what else we got there. I'm going to click through that. Again, how to turn a no into a maybe. I know people like, hey, we don't want to meet, or we're not ready to go right now. And you're going to say, I know you're not ready to sell right now, but let's at least get together so when the time comes, we'll have a plan in place. Does that make sense? I can't tell you how many appointments I've gotten by just saying that. It's pulling off the press. Hey, Deanna, I know you're not ready to do anything right now, but let's at least get together so when the time comes, we'll have a plan in place. Doesn't that make sense? They will say yes to this. Again, are we used to saying this? Probably not. Do we need to practice this? Yes. We need to practice these things that we're hearing or that we're learning here today. All right, watch this. There's a company called Shiloh AI, and they analyzed almost 2 million sales calls recently. Okay. They're listening to what we're saying and doing. And guess what they recognize? A third of the agents, when they were talking to a consumer on the other end, they were flagged for running their mouth too much. They're filling the words up. Do we do that? I know I can't hear everybody out there, but we do that, right? We talk too much sometimes. That's what it's basically saying. And then a third of them recognized that those calls, you didn't have the confidence, or you were hesitating, or you were stuttering, or you're fumbling on your words. People are judging you. They're recognizing whether this person on the other end knows what they're talking about. But the killer one, the stat was like almost 2/3 of the calls, we didn't set the next step. We didn't set the next step or moving the needle to some degree on these calls. So here's what we're going to do. I'm a big fan of what's the problem, what's the solution, and what are the steps involved. Problem, solution, and steps. That'll help you out in everything. So if we talk too much, what's the solution? Look, when we ramble, it weakens our credibility. People don't trust us. So what do we got to do? We got to practice what we're saying. We got to have a framework around what we're saying. I'm going to show everybody this here in a second. Second thing I think we need to do, we need to record and review our calls. We need to have a little Monday morning quarterback and realize, like, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What do I need to adjust, or what do I need to improve on? Again, the leads get better when we get better. So I'm going to show you some ways to do that. And then don't forget, a pause has a lot of power. You don't need to fill up all that space in these conversations. Okay. I also think you need to recognize whether you're an excessive talker. You ever feel like sometimes you're talking too much and like, this isn't really going, we're not in communication. We're not in rapport, because 9 times out of 10, we're just running our mouth. So the key is you got to ask more questions and then zip it. Shut up and listen to what they say. Okay. Become an active listener. And another thing, a good idea is, you probably can't see it because it came off there a little bit, is repeat back what they said. So Deanna, did I hear you say this? Or were you trying to say this? Or did you mention this? That has a lot of value when you do that. Okay. That is good communication. That says that you're listening to some degree. So I'm going to go through this. You're going to have an intro. You're going to have value. You're going to ask a question, and then you're going to close. So, hey, Deanna, this is Jeff Mays with ABC Real Estate. Sold.com. I love this. Sold.com has hand-selected us to work together. I see you're considering options for your home. Did I catch you at a good time, Deanna?
Yes.
Fantastic. The best thing about working with me is that we specialize in this area. We know exactly what buyers are looking for right now. And on top of that, we have strategies to maximize your sales price. And if you decide to put your house on the market, we can make it smooth and easy. Would it be helpful if I shared those ideas with you? There's another way of handling.
Definitely.
Great. Just so I can better serve you, what's prompting the move? Why are you moving? Are you upsizing, downsizing, or relocating, or you just want to sell your home? Now, maybe this is after a couple weeks or after follow-up, or maybe it's a point where you feel like you have a connection with them. So you're going to relocate, downsize. What are you doing, Deanna?
We're relocating for work.
Cool. How soon are you hoping to put your house on the market?
Next 90 days.
Okay. Have you done any recent updates or improvements to the home?
Nothing.
Okay. And again, I'm going to repeat back what you're saying, but I'm going through this because of time here today. Are you currently talking with any other agents about selling your property?
I've talked to a couple.
The purpose of doing this, everybody, is I want you to, the bottom line, the close at the end is like, hey, that sounds perfect. So Deanna, the next step is for me to stop by, take a look at your home, and give you a clear picture of what buyers would be willing to pay for your home in this market. I have some availability today at 6, or does tomorrow at 11 work? What works best for you?
That's great. 10 o'clock.
Okay. All right. That is, again, intro, value, question, close. Okay. So again, everybody's going to get these slides, and these are different ways to handle things. So the idea, what I said there, we got to start saying the next step in the process, or what happens next. I coach some top agents that get a lot of buyers out there, and they say this all the time. That's the last thing that they say. They're moving the needle to some degree. We'll skip that. We just went through that. Oh, this is a great one. Anybody that has an Android, your phone already does this. But Deanna, do you have an iPhone?
I have an iPhone.
Okay. Do you realize now, with the latest update on the operating system, when you go to voice memos and you hit record, it can record this conversation. It can record a listing presentation or a buyer consultation, whatever. It's now transcribing what you're saying. Huh? Why is that important?
I don't know. It's huge.
So you're going to throw that transcription in AI and going to go, give me a summary, give me speech identification, a visual mind map for this text. That's the prompt. Because the idea is you're going to say to a seller, hey, I'm recording this meeting so I don't miss a single detail. We've got clients that are doing this and it's working like a champ. I'll give you a summary afterwards, including expectation, timeline, and homework that works for both of us. How professional does that look when you do that?
Yeah, that's incredible, especially like you said with AI, because you could also have the AI spit out a custom cadence of follow-up based off the conversation that you uploaded into it.
Deanna, I'm sure that when we're done with this call, that there's probably some mechanism that everybody's going to get a summary of this call or some notes or something along those lines.
Yes.
So then why are we not doing it with a seller and a buyer when it's so important? Think about that. That just raises the level of what you're doing, whether you're working with a seller or doing a buyer consultation with a buyer. I just think that is the next step. Let's see what else we got there. We know about that. I'm going to skip through this. Some motivation there. We've done this in the past. Oh, I love this. Yeah, do you realize that let's say I get a lead from sold.com and I got an appointment with them. I can go in ChatGPT and say, I'm heading to show houses or I'm heading to a listing appointment, and give the address and say, could you give me some stats? Could you give me days on the market, list price to sales price, the 10 questions I need to ask the seller at this meeting? Tell me how the first 7 minutes of this meeting should look like. What are some things that I need to make sure I walk out of there with? And then it can talk to you on the way to the listing appointment, feeding all that information to you. What a crazy world that we live in. This is so awesome.
It's incredible because it's all these things. There's been so many times where I've had agents say, like, I know what I'm supposed to do. I just don't know how to do it or what to say. That should
it's no longer figuring out what to do or what to say.
Yep.
We got to have that mind shift, everybody out there. With ChatGPT and AI, everything is changing. It's no longer where's the answer? The answer is on your phone. It's there. The question is whether you're going to do this or not. I just think this is such a great idea. I'm going to pull this up. For a lot of my coaching clients, I always want them to at least once a month have this market stats around. I think we should know what's the median price of houses, how fast are houses selling, how many active listings, sold listings, condos versus single, all these details that we know we could probably get on our MLS, or it may take a little bit of research, but it's out there. Do you realize that you can screenshot what is on this screen right now, throw it in AI and just say, give me the stats for, I did this for Naperville, Illinois, and then within seconds, all that data is right there. That's a game changer. So I see over and over again, I see people say, oh, you need to download your CSV file of your market data reports. And no, you don't. You don't need to do that anymore. Well, why would you say that, Jeff? Because who's buying our information? All these big companies, and they're loading it to ChatGPT. Your MLS is already on ChatGPT. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. So they've got the data as much as us. So we need to make sure we know what's going on around AI. Let's see. I think I got a couple. Real quick, the Pomodoro effect. Everybody talks about their schedule and time blocking. Here's a way to make sure it's about like a 25-minute sprint. Take a break, 25-minute sprint, take a break. And then I want to leave you on, I'm going to a couple slides that you're not going to get to, but you'll enjoy them. The 3 apps that I can't live without right now. I'm the type of person that it would take me an hour to shoot a 1-minute video. Teleprompter Pro. It is so awesome. I can highlight what I want to say. It records me. It adjusts to my speed. When I start, stop, slow down, it will adjust. And I'm just reading what I want to say. I'm using AI to put that in there. And I'm just reading this. But the best thing about it, as soon as I'm done, it adds the captions. It blurs the background if you wanted to. It improves the audio. And as soon as you shoot that video, you've got all of it ready to load onto TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want. Big fan of Teleprompter Pro. There's how you do it right there. Another thing, everybody loves Canva. I have found that Mojo is better than Canva. Take a look at that. And then the last thing, take a look at opusclips.com. I found that what it does is it carves up by AI editing videos that you have raw footage. It can carve it up into 10 to 20 second videos that you can easily post. So that's all I got right there. Is that enough? Oh, last one. This is a great one. Hold on. This I added this at the last moment. One of my clients has these listings coming up. What a great post on social media. Drop your email for all these upcoming listings. She's got vague details about it. I think she got 10 or 11 DMs from this post alone just recently. What a great idea. Thank y'all so much. That's all I got, Deanna.
I've got a little bit more from my side of things. And Jeff, like, this information is always so powerful because I think it's just a great like reset of everything. And so, everybody that's on this call is in our network. And I think, you were asking about stats from my side. And these stats are always something I'm so excited to share because, like you said, the response of these leads are bad. They're not looking to do something. They're only curious and selling or their home's value. They're frustrating because when the conversation turns around to how many times are you reaching out to them, or what are you doing differently, or how are you responding, it is very much they don't have a set process in place. But what we know is that these people are doing something. Unfortunately, in most cases, they're doing something with somebody else. And so that's why, right? It hurts. And that's why I love doing these webinars with, especially somebody like you. You're so direct and to the point of the leads I use that all the time now. The leads get better when you do. And it really is asking yourself, like, what are you doing to work these leads? What is your expectation with working these leads? What we know as a network is that our agents convert at 17% of the leads that we give them. And I'm sure you know this, but industry average is 2%. So the fact that people are converting 8 times the industry average is something that we try to shout from the rooftops.
Right.
And obviously, are there people that don't convert anything? Yes. And is there a component that potentially they had bad luck of the draw? Sure. It's online. But the reality is most of the people who stop advertising with sold.com, and I've been in this industry for 15 years of lead generation, most of the time they're stopping within 30 days. Anybody who's doing lead generation and giving up and saying it doesn't work within 30 days is doing something wrong. And it's the mindset. It's the expectations that they had, whether the sales rep that sold them the zip codes did something wrong and told them that all their leads were going to be golden and do something right in the beginning, or the mindset of going in at the first month. It's called luck if you do get something in the first 30 days from any lead source. What we know is that 47% of the appointments that we set for agents list within the first 12 months. And that is a huge stat.
Wow.
And again,
they're going to do something.
They're going to do something. And it's a matter of, is it going to be with you? That's always the question I come back to, is using all the different tools and resources and things that you went through today. The answer is yes, it will be with you if you do those things. If you keep this long-term nurture strategy, if you have the right mindset, if you start using the right terminology, stop getting so focused on, I need to get a listing, I need to get commission, because that's the thing that's biting you in the butt from actually achieving that goal.
That's right.
You've got to make sure that you have these different goals in place and actually do what you need to do to get those things done. So like I do every time on our different webinars, I like to talk about, how our system works and focus on things. But the one thing I want to call out quickly is for the people who own zip codes already, or even if you don't, we allow for a webinar promo of $50 zip codes. And what that works out to is $600 a year to feature yourself in a zip code. And so if that's something that you guys want to do, this is something you'll want to take advantage of, because it will give you far more leads and opportunity than you would with anybody else, and it's sellers. So I'm going to slide out that offer and I'm going to pin it in the chat, but I also want to give a little bit more information into what it is that you're getting and how you're getting it, but I wanted to pop up that promo as I was talking about it. So for those of you guys who need a refresher, and I think, Jeff, this is always good for you too, because you have coaching clients that are on
That's right.
as well, is when you join the soul.com network, you're joining a network that allows for you to be eligible for leads within soul.com. Once, what happens in our system is we generate all the leads, Google ads, Facebook ads, soul.com itself. We have a concierge team that calls each one of those leads with the goal of setting up an appointment. And then once we get an appointment, we start to send those out to the agents that are in the network that have added themselves to those zip codes. But that's where this placement comes into play, is once you guys add yourself to your zip codes, we're now putting you in an order based off of how you compare to the other agents who have also added themselves to that zip code. So in this example, if you live in 47630, or that's a zip code you service, this is the actual live rank of the agents in that zip code of how we send out appointments. So every single time we get an appointment, David Woods of ERA has the first chance to claim that appointment. If after 30 minutes, David doesn't take it, we go to Rick. If Rick doesn't take it, we go to Teresa, so on and so forth. So although Julie is right here, she is likely getting significantly less opportunity than David and Rick, because David and Rick are always the first two people we text for the opportunity to claim an appointment. If you're a brand new agent, if you don't have as much production, this year wasn't your best year yet, then you probably are lower on that list. And so that's where we give the option of featuring yourself in a zip code. So what that does, it is essentially puts you above David. It puts you at the very top of David and says, now you're first. Now, every time we get an appointment, we're going to go to you and we're going to give you that opportunity. And that's what paying that $50 gets you, essentially $600 for the year, makes it so that in any zip code that you feature yourself in, you're getting the first opportunity to claim every appointment that we set before anybody else that's ranked below you. So that you would have to ignore it in order for somebody else to get it. On top of that, you unlock non-appointment leads. So what that means is if our concierge team calls a client and that consumer doesn't answer the phone, we're going to send that non-appointment lead over to you as the featured agent, and we're going to waive the referral fee entirely off of those. So those are completely free leads that we give. So if sponsoring zip codes, if featuring yourself in zip codes is important to you, when you fill out the form, I put it in chat, I popped it up on your screen. Our team can tell you exactly how many leads in a year you should expect to receive. And if you buy 3, we will give you 1 for free. So if you spend $1,800 for the year, you're also going to get another zip code for free. So this allows for you guys to get a lot of lead volume, start having conversations with people. And like we said at the very beginning, why put your foot on the pedal at the end of the year? It's because you want to get your spring, your summer off the ground. If you're waiting to advertise in spring and summer, you are missing the boat.
Totally.
These people are starting these conversations. You want to be the first person that they talk to. You don't want to wait until they've already went through the phase. You want to talk to people at the home valuation phase because you want to be that real estate advisor to them for all things home ownership. You want to, when they're thinking about remodeling their house, you want to be the person they call
involved.
Chapter. Yep. You want to know that they, like, what should they be doing to their home to get the most amount of money for it? You want to be that advisor to them year round, not just when they're thinking about potentially selling. So if featuring yourself in the zip codes and getting yourself in front of more sellers is important to you, take advantage of that $600 a year promo, $50 a month. That will expire end of day tomorrow, but that will get you a ton of opportunity. And going back to these stats, we know that 82% of our sellers are also going to buy, but most of these people are doing something within the 10 to 12 month window. If you get lucky, you might get somebody at 30 days, but use the tips and tools that Jeff gave. We're going to give you guys the slides, but literally it's all up to you at this point. If you do the things that Jeff just laid out for you, you will find success, especially when you're only spending $600 a year. That's return on investment.
Well worth it.
Within seconds. You could sell their bicycle in their garage and see a return on investment on that. Right. Jeff, this is so informative. I think, again, a lot of it is just the mindset of what they need to do and the focus of, like we talked about, stop giving up too quickly. Stop giving up too quickly. Stop getting in your own head. Stop being your own worst enemy, essentially, is get into the mindset of go make a friend, go build a relationship.
That's right. Be consistent. Have a plan.
100%. And use what you said, right? Like you just gave them the roadmap of what it takes to be successful with any lead generation. And so now it's up to everybody on this call to actually go do it. And if you don't convert things off of this, it just means you're missing something, right? Not everything is going to be gold from any lead generation.
Everything's going to be perfect. Not everybody's going to say yes.
But you will see success if you do the things that Jeff told you to do today. So Jeff, I will have the slides out to everybody. Thank you. Perfect. And like I said, if you can take a photo of your screen,
I'll take a photo of that and send it to you.
Email it to me. I appreciate everybody's time today, Jeff. Thank you. And I look forward to having you.
Everybody. Let's stir it up. Let's have a great September and October. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye. See you, Deanna.